We're excited to sit down with Tim Hobson today, the general manager of J.C. Ham. And Tim, we're just so grateful for the relationship that we've had with you, both on a personal level and a professional level, and just really want to dive in today to talk about our working relationship over these past 2-3 years.
Absolutely. I appreciate what WolfeCo's done for our company.
Thank you. What is your story, Tim?
I was working at a local factory doing maintenance and repairs and working on stuff, lathes and boring machines and heat treat, and come home every day with metal in my hands. And my boots were full of metal because it was a tool and die company. And a guy come up to me at church and said, "Hey, you ever thought about doing air conditioning work?" I'm like, "No, but I'm willing."
So he just came up to you out of the blue?
Just out of the blue. His wife worked with my wife, but me and him did not have a relationship. So I went to work with that company, worked as a tech. For the first month, they took me out, teaching me how to do things.
How old were you at this time?
Oh, my goodness. It was 26 years ago, so that'd be what?
30?
I was 30.
Yeah.
30 years old. Knew a lot about a bunch of different things from my military background and everything. Didn't know anything about air conditioning. And so they worked with me for about a month, put me in a truck, and said sink or swim. And I guess I was swimming.
You're a swimmer.
So I ran I worked for them for about 10 years, went to Iraq in the middle of it, came back and just wanted more. You know, I had young kids and needed to be able to make more money.
Yeah.
And I got an offer to go into a different industry and thought, man, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that because it looks good and I'm interested in it.
Yeah.
And things didn't pan out that way. We're very successful, just didn't work out the way I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And I got a call from a company that said, "Hey, we'd like for you to come run our company." And so told them what I needed to do it. And so they're like, "Well, the owner's not going to do that." 30 minutes later, the guy called me back and said, "He wants to sit down with you anyway." So we sat down, and he kind of went over the numbers and stuff, what they were doing. And I was like, this is a gravy train. This I can fix, not a problem. And I told him, you know, what you usually do in an interview. Well, you know, I want to consider this. I would like to give you a call back in 24 hours. I walked out the interview, got on the phone, called my wife, said, "I'm taking this job. This is crazy." So I worked with that company for 10 years, grew the company to multi-million dollars and up to 100 employees at one time, and just got burnt out because of COVID. Everybody enjoyed being home during COVID. I did not, because I was working 80 hours a week. Because if you're home and your air conditioner don't work, you're going to call somebody. And so I'd kind of decided I was going to get back out of that, and just for my health.
Just need to get out and take a breath.
Yeah. And then the owner of J.C. Ham called me. And I told him, I said, "I'm not really interested." He said, "Come sit down with me. Let's talk. Let's look around. Let's talk about philosophies in life." And so at the end of the interview, I said, I want to come back and talk to you again. So we met again, and I said, "Okay, I'm ready." Because, I mean, doing air conditioning and serving the public is addictive. When you go out to Miss Smith's house and Miss Smith don't have any money, and you get her air conditioning going very cheap, that's a great feeling. It's addictive. You want that feeling when you help people. Mm-hmm. And, you know, that's what I tell my guys. My guys that call me at night and say, "Hey, I'm still thinking about that house I was at earlier. What do you think?" I'm like, "Well, we fixed it." Well, what caused it? You know, it's always on our mind.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
It's cool. Pretty neat.
That is cool. So how did the owner who hired you, Rick Ham, right?
Right.
Second generation. Now Chris Ham, the third generation, is running the company. But how did Rick find out that you were available?
A lady who had worked for him in the past and also worked with me in the past. They were talking, and he said, I'm looking for somebody who can come in and just basically run the company. And she told him, said, I'll call Tim. And so it just like God aligned it for it to happen. As long as I was running the other company, he would not have approached me. So that's just his character.
Yeah.
I have people call me and say, well, won't you call so-and-so that works at this other company and hire them? No, if they want to call me, that's great, but I'm not going to go out and pursue somebody else's people. So,
What's the hardest part of running an HVAC company?
people, having techs, putting people in houses that you can trust. I don't put anybody in anybody's house that I wouldn't trust in the house along with my wife. So yeah, it's the hardest thing is keeping the integrity of the company.
What's it like industry-wide as far as the hiring and the talent pool for HVAC?
There's so many companies out there, and they'll just throw money at people. They're not offering benefits. They're not offering a environment like we have, and they'll throw a bunch of money at you. You work through the hard times when it's really busy in the summertime. In the wintertime, they just cut you loose and go to the next one.
And is that typical here to Florence, or is that industry-wide?
Industry-wide, when we hire somebody, we're not hiring them, we're hiring their family.
Yeah.
So we really plan around making sure we got enough work for them because we want to provide their family with a steady income.
How's the season been for you guys? How's the year been for J.C. Ham?
Well, ever since 2020, it's been kind of crazy. Like right now, it's 105 heat index today. We're busy, but we're just not overloaded with work. So people are kind of, they're like, we can't believe you got here this fast. Because usually our response is between 2 and 4 hours to get to a house. But we're having calls, like we had a call last night at 9:30. Then we started this morning with a call at 5:30 this morning. And so before my guy came into the office this morning, he already went and fixed it. So
nice. So J.C. Ham will be 75 years old next year. What do you think has sustained a business to reach that milestone?
The integrity of the company, doing the right thing, taking care of our customers, being fair with price, being fair with taking care of our customer by showing up when we say we're going to show up, doing what we're saying we're going to do. And if we mess up, we fix it. That's the big thing. A lot of companies will just stop returning your phone calls. And that's what you get with this smaller company where it's just a guy or two in a truck. If they get tired of working on something, they just stop calling. And we go fix a lot of those. We have people that have called us and say, we used so-and-so to come put our unit in because they were $3,000 cheaper than you. It hadn't worked since they put it in, and we go fix it. So
that's been a pretty big source of business for y'all, is just fixing the mistakes of chucking a truck.
Right. Like I said, we do things the right way. My guys go out and they have a problem. We do a diagnostic sheet on it so I can look at it, and I can look at it from the office and see exactly what's going on. If we have to go a second time, I'm going with them. So,
how has WolfeCo helped J.C. Ham in our relationship the last 3 years now?
Well, it's been a great relationship because you're doing all the work that I'm paying for. You're putting out the ads. You're representing the company with integrity. And before, we were using a large company, and we were basically just paying them for nothing. And so you're keeping us cutting edge. You're keeping our Google keywords where they need to be. We're doing all the things that we need to do to keep the phone ringing, and I'm not having to do it every day. That's the big draw to me for WolfeCo.
So in our time together, would you say that you have seen a return on your investment?
Oh yeah, it's been a very good return. nobody wants to spend money on advertising, and anytime things get tight, the first thing they want to cut is advertising. Well, you're cutting your lifeline when you do that. Mm-hmm. So I won't say that we've had phenomenal amount of growth, but that's a lot got to do with the economy, not WolfeCo. I will say that you have put out a good product, and it looks like very professional. Not the ones I was doing for myself. So yeah, it's been great.
What has growth looked like over the last couple of years, like percent revenue growth or percent installations?
You can't really look at revenue because the prices of everything's gone through the roof. So we look at the amount of calls, the amount of installs we're doing, and the installs have really gone up. The repair work has gone up as far as the volume of calls coming into the office.
You know, about ballpark, like how much?
I would say 10 to 15% per year since we started using WolfeCo.
So you and I met, I guess, 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago now, because I remember there was like a year period where we were going to do something together, but then we didn't do something together.
Yeah.
And I used every opportunity to send you an email or send you a text to stay in touch. Yeah. And then remember you called me one day. I was actually on a fishing trip in Texas, or you'd emailed me and said, go ahead and send a contract. We're ready. So what was the thing that like got you guys like over the obstacle of deciding to finally go with us?
Well, the company we were using we were paying them pretty well, but all we were getting was Lauderdale County. And they wanted to double what we were paying to get Colbert County, which is
like the Muscle Shoals area?
Yeah, the Muscle Shoals area. So we were doing really great in Lauderdale County, but we didn't have any kind of representation just across the bridge, across the water. And so meeting with you, and I met with the owners and the Christy, I call her our CFO. She said she don't like titles. But I met with them and I said, look, for us to change, to grow, we got to do something different than what we're doing. And so that's what we did. We just changed, went in, met with you and your team, told you what we needed, and you told me what you could do, which was exceeded my needs, my expectations, and you always have.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. You know, we believe, and I believe, that the world runs on relationships, right? You got to have a good relationship with the people you work with, both clients and both employees, because life is short. You spend so much time at work, you might as well enjoy the people you work with. And I always enjoy coming over here and hanging out with you and, you know, the time that we have gotten to work together. You know, going back to you running an HVAC company, like, what is it that you do on a daily basis that keeps you going, like, through the problems? You know, is it mindset? Like, is it heart? Like, what is it that sustains you through all the things you deal with and all the ups and downs of running this company?
Honestly, it's my team's growth. When I got here, they weren't at the level that I wanted them to be. And none of us have arrived, but they take care of each other. So we work well together. They help each other solve problems. We don't just throw our hands up in the air. I would be wrong if I didn't teach everybody that works for me how to do my job. Because J.C. Ham doesn't revolve around me. Mm-hmm. It revolves around the culture that we have. I can unplug and I can go to the beach, and I don't have to sit there and nurse my phone and computer the whole time. Now, am I going to check in? Yeah, because I'm a workaholic. But, you know, my guys don't need me near like they did when I first started. So that's very rewarding to me because I like to teach people how to do stuff.
You think if you give and give and give, you're going to receive? You have that belief?
Absolutely. You can't receive if you're not pouring out. And that's scriptural. You know, you reap what you sow. And so we want to sow positive things People don't call us and say, hey, I've got pizza, send your guys over. They call us up, they got a problem. So we just need to go in and fix the problem. And if we can't fix the problem, we give them a solution. And so most of the time we go out to a customer's house and they've got a major part of the unit down. We give them the option. We can fix this one or you can replace it for this. You know, and turnaround for us on installing units usually 24, 48 hours. I can have a new unit in.